Good evening and welcome to the Eastern Kentucky University Alumni Spotlight Series. My name is Dan McBride and I will be your host tonight as we meet with another exciting alum of EKU and talk about their EKU experience and what they're doing to now. We have a first tonight on our show, and I'll tell you more about that in just a few moments. But I do have an announcement or two that I want to make before we get to that. First of all, hope everyone had a great Halloween, and fall has certainly arrived on the EKU campus. It is very chilly in Richmond, and there is a crisp, cool feeling in the air tonight as we ease into November now and look forward to Veterans Day coming up next week, and also to Thanksgiving just around the corner. Speaking of Thanksgiving, just after Thanksgiving will be our next Colonel's Kitchen coming up on November 30th. And this is going to be a special edition of our Colonel's Kitchen because we are going to be making Christmas cookies, and we are going to take the show on the road a little bit. So you'll find out more about that as we get closer. But make a note on your calendar coming up on November 30th for our next Colonel's Kitchen as we make holiday cookies and get ready for the holiday season, and hopefully give you some nice snacks and refreshments that you can make for your guests that may be visiting during the holidays. Also, our next Alumni Spotlight Series, we'll have information on that coming out very soon, so keep your eyes open, watch your email and your social media feeds for the information on our next Alumni Spotlight Series. But as I mentioned, next week is Veterans Day, and so tonight's guest is very timely. It's time for us to be thinking about all the things that go along with Veterans Day, and of course EKU is nationally known as a great campus for our veterans. And we're going to talk about that tonight. A two-time EKU graduate is our guest tonight, and she currently serves as the director for the Office of Military and Veterans Affairs on the EKU campus. We are very pleased to have with us Barbara Kent. Good evening, Barbara, and welcome to the Spotlight.
Hi, Dan. Thanks for having me. This is very exciting.
We're happy to have you, and I think it's timely. Obviously, Veterans Day coming up next week. I know it's a busy time for you, and we had homecoming last month, but I know this is kind of homecoming season for you.
It is indeed. Yes, we have a lot of activities planned over the next couple of weeks, so we're pretty excited about that.
Now, first, tell us a little bit about you are on campus tonight. Tell us a little bit about where you're coming to us from tonight.
I'm coming to you from my favorite place on campus, our vet center here in the Jaggers room. So all of you that are familiar with Powell, of our alumni, what was a conference room I'm kind of showing you guys is our vet center, which is basically our veterans lounge. And this is where our veteran students and family members, they can come and socialize. They have use of computers and printing, printers. They have a fully stocked hospitality station with Black Rifle coffee, which we all enjoy. But really, it's their dedicated space on campus. So we're very appreciative to have this space, particularly coming from Burnham House a couple years ago.
Yeah, let's talk about that a little bit, because most of our alums remember your center being in the house. But with the renovation of Powell and the new space there, you guys have kind of moved all of your operations into Powell now. So that's where people can find you.
Absolutely. And it's really transformed our ability to engage with all of our students. I remember a couple years ago in the spring, President McFadden, we had a meeting, and that was when, as you said, Powell was being renovated. And he showed me the space that we were going to be in. We've got adjacent office suites. And I mean, I can't tell you what a difference it's made.
One of the things, and certainly our alums have heard over the years what a great school we are for veterans and how we service our veterans well. And the thing that some people don't realize is our veterans population, or our veteran dependent population, is one that's growing on campus.
Absolutely. Our veteran dependent population, which tends to be our kids, that is one of our fastest growing populations, as well as our military spouses. And nationally, there is a trend of less veterans on campus, but an upward trend of veterans transferring their benefits to their spouses and children. And we're seeing more and more of that every year.
We'll talk a little bit more about some of the programs you guys offer, but let's talk a little bit about you and your experience. And I'm excited because you are the first guest we've had on the Spotlight series who was a non-traditional student at EKU. So I think you have a little bit different perspective than what our other guests have had.
Yeah.
And a lot of our alums who are watching probably had the same experience you did, because we have such a large number of non-traditional students on our campus.
We do. And I think EKU is uniquely positioned to serve students such as myself as a school of opportunity. I enlisted in the Army right out of high school, like a lot of young people do. College was not an option, and I wanted to enlist and provide better opportunities, and I did that. I am proud of my service. It really benefited me, and it laid the foundation for a professional career. I always wanted to go to college. And so at the age of 47, I took a part-time job here at EKU, hoping it would lead to a full-time job and the ability to use the tuition waiver, and the rest, as they say, is history. Immediately after I got my bachelor's degree, I went right into the MPA program. And I think particularly being director of OMVA, and of course, most of our veteran students and our spouses are non-traditional. I think it's an added layer, apart from being a veteran, of being able to meet our students where they are. And I also can, I got street cred to tell these students when they're, in their late 20s or 30 and they think they're too old. I'm like, whoa, okay. I got my degree when I was 52 and it changed my life. Imagine what it's going to do for you.
Yeah, excellent testimony and story to share. Talk a little bit about, obviously, when you were a student, you were also working. You had kids.
I
had
had
many of the same things they're dealing with.
teenagers. I was in what was the College of Arts and Sciences. Great folks there. Really enjoyed my time there. So it's a job, and that's, again, that experience I think has helped inform me in terms of consistently evaluating our programs and our policies. Are we giving our students what they need to be successful? Because many of them are working, they're raising families, etc. But I did also take the opportunity. I was on the mock trial team. I participated in a lot of student activities because I wanted that experience as well. So I just think, again, EKU has the programs, they've got the support. I think that is really suited towards adult learners. So I feel very fortunate to have had the opportunity to do that, and then to now give back is just really a privilege.
Let's talk a little bit about how you got into this position you're in now. And I know you're the first female director for the OMVA program. You're working on campus. You finish up your master's. How did it kind of come about that you ended up in the position you're in now?
Dan, I think about it more and more, and I think it was just meant to be, because the timing was such that I could not have, I would not be in this position without my formal education. And I feel as though everything I did before, which I have no regrets, it prepared me to be where I am now. And so, and to be the first female, and also I'll point out the first enlisted person to be in this role. I think really, I like to think that it gives me that perspective that I can kind of go that extra mile for our students and their family members.
And you have an EKU family too. I mean, your daughters are grads. Your daughters work on campus, right?
Yeah, they do. I think you might know one of them. That's Jessie. My daughters, Kelly, Sarah, and Jessie, they all graduated from EKU. Kelly's a teacher over at Model. Sarah's over in student accounting services. And I know Jessie, who just graduated with her dietetics degree, or food nutrition degree. She's over, and I think she started out as a student worker over in your area. And she's getting ready. She has an internship at UK that'll start in January. And I think because, when I think of my daughters, you think of, again, and of family members and that they serve too. And so when they were younger, they're used to moving every 2 or 3 years, going to different schools. And so I think that when we talk about family members as well, and I'm encouraged that EKU is very invested in hiring more veterans and family members, because, again, they serve too. They're resilient, they're organized, they can kind of go with the flow. So, but to me, it kind of just reinforces that family feeling here at EKU.
I know a lot of our alums and a lot of people in general keep hearing about how EKU is consistently ranked as one of the top schools for veterans in the nation. Talk a little bit about why we have that ranking, and what are some of the reasons that make us a special place for veterans?
Well, now I have a little bit of experience. I mean, I've been in this job almost 3 years. I think there's 2 critical factors, or I'll say 3. One is you have to have that top-down support. And the president, Chair Diaz, everyone has from the get-go, they recognize the value that these students bring to campus and have always been a huge supporter. If you don't have that, you're never going to have a national program. Secondly, our programs themselves, our faculty, our staff. We have world-class accredited programs that students want, that the veteran and military students want. And third, we are distinctive in that we have a centralized delivery of services, from before the admissions process all the way through to graduation and beyond. We are with our students, and we built those partnerships on campus to serve these students the very highest quality of services available.
I think everybody's familiar with the traditional way we recruit students, but do we go about recruiting veteran students in a different way?
It's very different. We go to, and of course, COVID, put a little dent. But we attend military installation fairs, particularly in the Southeast region. But recently we launched an initiative that's opened our market globally, and that's our Vets Ready Opportunity Portal. It's a front-facing portal that service members can go in. They can enter their rank, their branch when they trained, and it'll give them an unofficial report of the military transfer credit that they're going to receive. And so that in and of itself is probably our most powerful recruiting tool, but it is a little bit different because we're recruiting 12 months out of the year. Again, a lot of it generalizes to adult learners, but we are very, very excited to get back to military installations, and even at the military installations, you have that whole, all of the subpopulations are there: veterans, active duty, family members, kids, etc.
Well, we've seen the beautiful center that you are in there. Talk about some of the other things that we do provide to veterans to support them once they get to campus.
Well, when it comes to our programming, and again, those sort of wraparound services, we have transition workshops. We also provide regular programming throughout the semester. Fall, like any other area of student life, is very busy for us because we're tailgating. We're having movie events. We partner with the Student Success Center for seminars and tutoring, et cetera, things like that. We also, we have 2 registered student organizations. One of which, Omega Delta Sigma, is our national co-ed veterans fraternity, and we are only one of 9 schools in the nation to have this fraternity. Our other registered student organization, our Student Veteran Association, is very inclusive and open to all who want to support our students. So we're trying to, we provide services that target sort of the student success side in terms of their academic goals, scholarship workshops, but then we also try to enhance our students' experience by those student life experiences that we all want, and that to me is really what engages the students, and it brings them back when they're alum. As I told our fraternity, who managed to recruit new members even during COVID. They were established right before COVID. You're building a foundation for the future. You'll be coming back here in 5 years, in 10 years, in 20 years. So it's really exciting to see all that grow for them.
Well, you talk about alumni, and that's one thing that EKU is very fortunate in, that we have had a strong ROTC program at the university for so many years. And we see so many of those folks who come back and visit, whether it's homecoming or veterans events. They have been very supportive.
We did. We actually had a military appreciation weekend last year in person, and had a great time. And it was an honor to have a lot of the alumni from those classes come back and participate.
In addition to having a great alumni in this area, one of the things that your office does that I think is incredibly helpful is you provide training for the staff on campus and people who are not used to dealing with veterans on a day-to-day basis, so that they are comfortable with working with the veterans when they're on campus. The training is excellent. I've been through it, and I think that's a great service.
Thank you. Thanks for saying that. And that actually, it's something we always wanted to do, and I'm not, if there could be that's where COVID came in. We were able to develop, we developed a training on Zoom, and people were bored about a year and a half ago. So we got a lot of people signing up for our training. But all joking aside, in general, one, HR made it a policy for all new employees to take this training. We offer it throughout the semester. And I've never had anyone, most people want to do this. They want to know about our students. They want to help our students. And we're one of the few universities that has this type of training.
It's very helpful. I know our division went through it, and sometimes as a non-veteran or non-military person, you don't always know how to talk to those folks and what to say and what not to say.
That's right. 3 questions. Did you serve? What branch? What was your job?
What was your job? Yep, I remember
right.
that. All right, let's talk a little bit about, this is obviously, as we mentioned, a big time of the year for you and a busy time of the year. Veterans Day is next week, and I know one of the traditions on the campus is the honor roll reading. Kind of talk us through that a little bit and how that's going.
We every Veterans Day we conduct national roll call. EKU actually established this event back in 2012. Dr. Lieutenant Colonel retired Brett Morris was the brains behind this. And we actually read all of the nearly 8,000 names of service members and civilians who lost their lives during the global war on terror. We do it on Powell Corner. We start at 6 a.m. It finishes at 2 p.m. And we have volunteer readers who read approximately 120 names every 15 minutes.
Wow.
And we have chairs. We put chairs out so people can sit if they want to sit and listen. But it's really important for us to have it at the busiest spot on campus, because we want students to get involved. We want them to understand what we're doing. And we feel very humbled and honored to be able to recognize our fallen and the sacrifices that they made. And again, it reminds everyone of all the freedoms that we enjoy have come at a huge cost. And I think when you say those names out loud, it's very powerful. And people are changed after they've done it.
Well, and that's the great thing about it to me too, is you have a wide variety of people who do the reading, faculty, staff, alums. I mean, it's a little bit of everybody.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So even if we have no more volunteer spots, but I would encourage the community to come out, just sit. You can participate by being present. But it's something that we are again, we're very honored and humbled to be able to support this event.
Let's talk about some of the other activities that you have associated with Veterans Day. I know you're going to have a special guest on campus and some other things. Let's talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, military appreciation. It started as a military appreciation game, and then it became a weekend, and now it's become almost a week. So we're pretty excited about that. Our guest that week is a gentleman by the name of Frank Romeo, who couldn't,
Perfect name.
From Long Island. But Frank is a Vietnam War combat veteran, Army veteran, who in 2020 walked across New York State to raise awareness, to share his own story about his 50-year struggle with PTSD, and to also raise awareness and remove the stigma about mental illness, not only for veterans, but for everyone. And it was filmed. The documentary, which came out this year, is called Walk with Frank. It's getting all kinds of awards and buzz on the festival circuit. But what's remarkable is a few months ago, earlier in the summer, and you and I and Steve talked about that, Frank actually reached out to me because he heard about EKU and our reputation for serving our veterans and military community, and said, I want to bring my film to campus. I wish I could do his accent, but I can't. And so it just kind of evolved from there. And so the week of November 15th, we're going to have some different activities. And I'd encourage everyone to go to our page, va.eku.edu, on our events page, and you can get more details. But part of what we're doing that week, actually on the 17th, Frank also has an art exhibit, The Art of War, that we're going to have in Case Dining. Everyone just watch for the announcement in EKU today. We're going to invite folks to come view his art exhibit, and they get a free lunch. How great is that? And they can meet
That's
Frank.
great.
But then Thursday, we're going to actually have the film screening over at O'Donnell. We're going to have a reception beforehand at 5. Again, this is all on our webpage. You'll see EKU today. Friday, we're going to have a social at Bluegrass Barrel House. I got that right. Yeah,
BBH.
The ODS guys are all. We're teaming with ODS. You can see their insignia up there on the right of the screen up there. We're going to have our Friday night social there. We're going to have food. We're going to have a band. No cover charge for EKU alumni and veterans. Saturday, we're going to have our tailgate starting at 11. Going to have a great, awesome game, EKU versus Jacksonville State. Going to be up in Colonel Courtyard. We are encouraging all of our alumni, veteran or not, to come on out, enjoy it, bring your family. There's going to be all sorts of things to do. We're going to have swag, hats, T-shirts, and we just really want to try to get everybody out there to celebrate our veterans. This will all culminate, of course, in the halftime ceremony at the game, which we didn't get to do last year, but that's where we march all of the veterans out and by branch, and they're recognized by the crowd. So we are like super, super, super stoked about all the events, but especially the appreciation game.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite halftimes of the entire football season. And I don't know when that tradition started. I don't know how long we've been doing it, but it's a great opportunity to pay tribute to our veterans and let the fans see them and show them some appreciation. It's a lot of fun.
Well, and EKU is like super generous all veterans will receive a ticket to the game, which is pretty darn cool because it's going to be a great game.
Yeah, and you also did something else, and I think it was maybe 2 seasons ago at the stadium, as long as we're talking about football. You guys dedicated the chair. Tell us a little bit about that.
Absolutely, and that's an important part of of that event, is that we always recognize, we dedicated the POWMIA honor chair in 2019. And we also recognize the 14 POWMIAs from Kentucky, one of whom is EKU alum John Stringer. And we had his wife and his daughter present when we recognized them. And it just really, and again, of course, we love the game, and Veterans Day is about honoring veterans, but we also do not want to forget that chair symbolizes the fact that they will never be here to watch that game. They will never be here to be with their family. And so it was, it was a great honor for us to be able to dedicate this. And it really makes me proud to be an EKU alum, that again, that our leadership, that our community supports this every year.
Yeah, and the chair is there every game in the end zone.
Yes.
And it's empty.
Yes, and it's empty to symbolize that they're, and so I would encourage, if anyone we actually have a POW, a missing man table here in the Vet Center that we keep. And again, that is, and that is so that we want our students to be aware of that. And I would invite anyone on campus, if they ever want to come and tour the Vet Center or see that, to come on by. But yes, that's another part of the halftime ceremony, that's very important.
Yeah, and we talked a little bit about alumni and how important they are, but when you look at some of the alums that EKU have, and some of them in some of the ranks they've had in the military and some of the positions they've held, I mean, it's some pretty impressive folks.
Absolutely. In fact, our distinguished alum last year, General Jim Rainey, is on track to get his 4th star. Unfortunately, he and his wife Tracy had conflicts, so they can't be here this year. That's what happens when you become a 4-star. But he sends his best wishes. Brigadier General Brian Wertzler, with the Kentucky National Guard, he's an EKU alum. When he and General Larkin came, he's an EKU alum. So it's kind of like just extending that family, our military community. And that's, at the end of the day, that's what we want to create. That's what we really want to recreate for our students, is that same sense of family that we had when we were serving.
We've talked a lot about what we're doing now, and I know you are a big dreamer, and you like to think ahead. What are some things you want to see happen, and where would you like to take us with this program?
Well, of course, I want to be #1 in the nation. We will be. I want to do that. But we're also, one of our major initiatives we have is we are currently working on a grant to establish a Veterans Upward Bound program here at EKU.
Oh, wow.
And so if we are successful with that grant, that is going to, the whole purpose, it's a federal TRIO program, but the purpose of it is to prepare eligible veterans for entry into post-secondary education. We would be the 2nd school in Kentucky to have a Veterans Upward Bound program, and one of the few in the region. So to me, that connects so much with our mission of education, of scholarship, of service, and regional stewardship, that I think we're going to be a perfect fit for that. For our team, and that's what. And again, I want to give a shout out to the OMVA team, our VSOC, Steve Johnson, Jamie Roberts, our recruitment and retention specialist, Deborah Bush, our senior certifying official, Whitney Warden Baroni, our program assistant, our amazing VA work studies. Really, without them, none of this would happen. So they're that's the thing, Dan. They see me. I am a dreamer, and unfortunately, I'm lucky that my team dreams along with me, because otherwise we could have some problems. But no, they're as committed, more, and beyond as I am. And as I always tell them, I'm like, we'd make a great military unit. So I'm very proud to be a part of their team.
Well, and obviously you have a lot to be proud of with the program, and I know you're excited about where things are and excited about where things are going. If someone watching is interested and wants to get involved and participate in some of the stuff going on during Military Appreciation Week or whatever, tell us again what they need to do.
They can go to our website. Watch EKU today, EKU students today. They can go to our website. Go to our little event tab, and we've got registration links for everything. They can reach out to me. They can email me. Our information's on the left-hand side of the page. Look at those pretty badges. Aren't those nice?
Very nice.
Someday there's going to be a #1 on there, Dan. You can interview me again when we do that. Okay.
We'll have you back when we hit #1. That's for sure.
So, but yeah, or just reach out to me. But we are just really encouraging. We want this to be, all of our events to be community events, and they're going to be a lot of fun. And we can recognize our veterans, cheer on our colonels, and celebrate with our students.
Finally, I always obviously a lot of our alums watch this show, and I want them to kind of have your perspective. And as you look back at your time at EKU, As a student and also now as you continue to work and serve here, what would your message be to our alums out there about your EKU experience and how EKU's doing?
Oh, I mean, I stand on their shoulders. When I walk, I walk down along Veterans Memorial quite frequently, and I've had the privilege of knowing some of the folks that are on the benches. I've installed pavers. I've learned about those heroes on the wall. My message would be of being very grateful for their service and what they built, and the fact that it's a privilege for me to try to carry that forward. And now I'm trying to be a role model for our students, so that because they're going to become alums and they're going to be that next generation. And so my message would be one of gratitude, one of humility, and one of always being here to assist or serve in whatever capacity needed.
Well, we certainly know that you can handle it. I mean, you're still a distance runner, right? You've been distance running for a long time.
Yeah, 40 years almost, Dan, believe it or not. I started in the Army and just never stopped. And I've been very fortunate. And it's something I enjoy doing. It gives me a lot of energy, because you need a lot of energy in this job. But that's something I feel like I sort of took from the military as well, that stayed with me.
All right, we do, before we wrap up, we did have a question that rolled in, and so we do want to let our viewer ask the question. And this one comes to us from Deborah Alexander, one of our alums. She wants to know, how does the Office of Military and Veterans Affairs work with the Center for Veteran Studies program, which is also on campus?
Yeah. Dr. Travis Martin, who's an Army vet as well. He's the director of the Kentucky Center for Veteran Studies. And we've partnered on some events and continue to collaborate in other areas. That's more academically based, and ours is more service based to our students. But no, it's great that we have both areas on campus.
Just another example of why we are such a great campus for veterans.
All right.
Serving them in every aspect. Barb, thank you for being with us tonight. We've appreciated, and you're doing great things. Keep it up, and especially good luck in the coming weeks here as you get ready for your homecoming stuff.
Thanks, Dan. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me on.
I appreciate you being here. Barbara Kent with us tonight, our director from the Office of Military and Veterans Affairs here on the EKU campus. Again, I want to mention our next Colonel's Kitchen will be coming up on November 30th. We'll hope you will join us for that. That'll be at 8 p.m. on November 30th, a special Christmas edition, as we'll be making Christmas cookies, maybe some other Christmas treats. You'll find out more as we get closer to that. And also be watching social media and the website for information on when our next Alumni Spotlight will be coming up. That'll wrap things up for us tonight, live from the campus of Eastern Kentucky University. Thanks again to Alex Hannibin and Steve Greenwell working behind the scenes to make this show happen. I'm Dan McBride for the Alumni Spotlight. Good night.